Yeah, guys, good to see you. PJ Cruikshank in the house. Well, more like the bed sit, but you know what I mean. Our studio flat with Vicky, and we just got to react to a video. It's a video called Six Most Disturbing Mysterious Locations. It's just something different. We don't have to be uniform all the time. I don't have to talk about the same stuff. But let me just turn the fan off in case it's interfering. Don't know if you can hear it, but just in
No,
case
it's
it's
fine.
interfering. Um, why is it so dark in here anyway, babe? Why do you think it's dark in here?
Because you've got
Oh, I
shades on.
see. I see. It's because it's a nice day outside. Yeah, I'm only joking, guys. Take the shades off. Don't. It's sunny outside, so I'm really affected by the sun. So I have to put the shades on, but no need inside. But that kind of reminds me when I was out, I seen like loads of my old people that I used to kind of take drugs with or walk about looking for drugs and stuff like that. And that's been a long time since I've done that. And it's they're still doing it. You know, same people, same thing, just doing it. They're just getting more emaciated and more addicted. Um, and I just think we should keep people like that in our prayers. No, like drug addicts, prostitutes, everybody we should keep in our prayers. But you know, I've been there, homeless and drug addict and stuff like that. So it's just good to keep people like that in our prayers. Don't you think, babe?
I was a homeless alcoholic, so yeah.
Well, there you go. A homeless alcoholic. That sums you up to a T, doesn't it, babe? I'm only joking. Vicky's
No,
brilliant.
but
It doesn't matter where you come from. It can happen to anybody. You know, Vicky comes from money originally, but she ended up homeless. You know, I come from nowhere and I ended up homeless. You know, it happens, doesn't it, babe?
you don't look when you see a homeless person. You don't know their story. You don't
No.
know what drove them to that, and like it's like remember I watched that video and it was a girl saying about a nan told her not to give an addict money
Yeah. Yeah.
because they'll spend it on drink or drugs,
Yeah.
but normal people that work, when
Mm.
they have a bad day or the end of the week, what do? They have a
Well,
drink or
exactly.
buy drugs. So don't
Yeah.
be judging people
Yeah.
because they that's their way of coping.
Yeah, it is. I mean, some people just like taking drugs and it becomes a habit, but other people they
No.
don't like what the drug does. I don't didn't like I liked it what it did to me effects wise. Well, sometimes because after a while you get used to it. But I didn't like what the drug did to me as a person. It tore my life apart, and you've got to learn to hate it, to be honest. You know,
But
and just start trying it for God's help. Yeah. What, babe?
generally, you drink or take drugs to block something out.
Generally, yeah, in general.
So, so you don't know what drove them to that point, and so just don't judge. You know.
Mm, that's it. So yeah, this video, get it. Just sorry, keep them guys in our prayers. You know what I mean? That's all I ask. You know what I mean? I've already had a little pray for them today, so just keep them in our prayers. Just thought I'd do something different. Just come across this video. Just thought I'd get a premiere out. And it's six most disturbing, mysterious locations. I know I've already said it's just something different. We don't need to be uniform. Talk about flat Earth all the time. Which reminds me, I shared Flats's stream last night on my Facebook. And now I don't go on Facebook except to share Flats's videos, my videos, or whatever. And I got a comment from one of my ex leaders that I was in Christian rehab with. He'd already done the program, and he was the leader of that rehab. And he put in. I'd already had the conversation with him in 2017 about being a flat earther. I remember it, and he's not. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he put in Facebook, what does it matter to the common man like me because it says about flat earth with question marks? I said back to him, look, this is not, I wasn't asking for an opinion. I'm just sharing because I'm on this panel sort of thing. You know what I mean? But I ended up telling him that you can't deny it in Genesis creation story. God, it describes a flat earth. And I says with umpteen other scriptures. I also said to him, look, like all my other posts I've put out to do with Christian videos and all that stuff, and you're a Christian. I didn't say that to him about him being a Christian. Like I wasn't accusing him of saying, but you don't comment on them. So it's obviously the flat earth triggered you just to say that comment on the flat earth. The only one I got a comment on from when that it triggered him enough just to say that comment. What does it matter to the common man? And I ended up saying, well, it does matter. Truth matters. And I've seen people come to Christ because of flat earth. So I said, yes, it does matter. It's not a salvation issue, but yes, it does matter. Truth matters. You know what I mean, babe?
Of course.
Of course. Right. So I'll just get on with this video because chatting too long. Same again. If it's under 30 minutes, I can edit it. If not, if it's slightly over, or even over at all, I'll have to just put it out raw. I dare say I'll have to put it out raw because it's 17 minutes long. I mean, we might keep our reactions to a minimal. It might end up just being a watch party. I might not have anything to say about it. You know what I mean? But
Aye.
yeah, same applies, babe. Just shout stop. But as I say that, it just reminds me every time I say that on my lives or premieres or whatever, nobody ever tells me to stop except Michael. Michael's the only one that shouts pause or stop. Everybody else just starts talking over the video.
No, I've done it a couple of
Oh
times.
no, I know, but you're not really always in the lives all that time saying much. You're there, but so you don't interrupt unless you have to. You know what I mean?
Aye.
But yeah, I know you do. But in general, it's just Michael. It's just Michael. Just yo, stop, pause. Everybody else just starts yapping.
I know.
But yeah, we'll get on with it. Let me just big up the screen. Get on with it. It's like I said, 6 most disturbing, mysterious locations. Just shout stop, babe, if need be. So
Okay.
here we go. Let's make that screen bigger and play it.
Bermeja. If you were to look at pretty much any map of the Gulf of Mexico drawn by Spanish explorers in the 16th and 17th centuries, you would find a small island lying off the north coast of the Yucatan Peninsula called Bermeja. Although the exact location of the island varied slightly depending on the map, it was a well-known fact that the island at least existed. Bermeja was first mentioned by Spanish cartographer Alonso de Santa Cruz.
At least existed. So I take it doesn't exist on the map anymore. I'll watch it further on, but that tends to happen. We've seen that in flat Earth, like lands that in old maps that are there that isn't there now. Sov spoke in it a few weeks ago. Yeah. You got anything to say, babe? No, just keep playing. Go.
Yeah.
Cruz in an official list of islands in the Gulf of Mexico, published in Madrid in 1539. Alonso de Chaves, another Spanish cartographer, once wrote that from a distance, Bermeja looked blondish or reddish, which is where the island's name came from. A couple of hundred years later, in the mid-1800s, French-Mexican cartographers published reports stating that the island of Bermeja had started to sink. By the late 18th century, Bermeja was no longer featured in many maps of the area.
Bit like Atlantis, then, baby. Bit like Atlantis. It disappeared.
Yeah. No, but there are.
And the last time it showed up on an official map was in...
Say again.
No, but there are places that are under the sea that people used to live in.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's higher waters than there used to be, and there was a flood that happened. So at some point, if I remember rightly, some guy called Noah made a big, massive boat to house his family and a couple of animals. Yeah, I'm seeming to remember a flood somewhere. Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah. Well, I remember it in the Bible. I wasn't there at the time.
Well,
I'm not
no,
4,000
nor was
years
I,
old. You know?
luckily.
I'm not 4,000 years old, luckily. Yeah, I would hope to be in heaven by that age. You know.
In the 1921 edition of the Geographic Atlas of the Mexican Republic. In the late 90s, the American and Mexican governments started negotiations to determine the boundaries for the exploitation rights of oil in the Gulf of Mexico. If the Mexican government could find the island of Bermeja, that would...
When we were starting, I forgot to say, when we were starting, I was going to tell Vicky to say wave to everybody. Yeah, I forgot. She's not on camera. Give everybody a wave, babe.
I'm waving.
Just flash your avatar.
Aye.
would expand Mexico's oil drilling rights way further into the Gulf. Around that time, the Mexican government conducted 3 official investigations to find the island, armed with state-of-the-art ultrasound technology and all kinds of modern tools to locate it. Mysteriously, they couldn't find any trace of the island, and according to spokespeople from the Mexican Navy, it was as if the island had never even existed.
Craig from FTFE would have found it if he was in that sub, because he's like super duper, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. He's like an Avenger.
Yeah, absolutely. He is an Avenger, isn't he? I thought he was going to be in the next MCU movie because of his spontaneous and heroic actions to his the guy he beat up.
Beating up
That
his
was probably
neighbour.
it was probably half his size and as
Twice
thick as
his
a pencil.
age.
Yeah, just like Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. But I still think Mike Tyson will be. But
A year after the Mexican Navy failed to find Bermeja, a Mexican senator named Jose Angel Cioncielo, who was one of the most fierce advocates for the expansion of Mexico's oil drilling territory and the island's existence, was killed in a car accident on a Mexican highway when a semi-truck slammed into the right side of the car. His death quickly became the fuel for a conspiracy theory, according to which the CIA had blown up the island to further an oil-fueled American agenda. Of course, this theory is a bit of a stretch, and some of the other more logical theories that surfaced regarding the disappearance of the island are much more likely to be true. One possibility that researchers seem to favor is that the island sunk after an earthquake or underwater landslide.
Which is quite possible. It could have happened during the flood. It might not be there at all. It might just be myth. I don't know, but things like that can happen. I wouldn't like to speculate. It's quite possible from landslide or underwater, something like that. Earthquake. Don't know. I mean, an earthquake, can it swallow a whole city or a whole place, whole island? Don't know. I'm sure things like that can happen, but I can't really speculate. I can only just react. Got anything to say, babe?
Nope.
No.
Which led to a further series of explorations in 2009 to see if the remains could be found at the bottom of the ocean. However, despite the even more advanced technologies that were used during that year's official investigations, the ultrasound exploration of the ocean floor revealed absolutely nothing but a sandy ocean bottom.
Well,
Speculation that the island had never existed once again.
it's not there then. If it's a sandy bottom, it's not there. But I hate a sandy bottom. It's a bit uncomfortable. When you're sitting on the beach and you get a sandy bottom, babe, sand between your butt cheeks. Not very
Not
nice.
good. No. But you think
Started
there'd be
searching
something there?
Yeah, if it's real, you think there'd be something there. But like I say, like with that
Not
map we
just
saw, is
sand.
that place? Yeah, sorry.
Not just
What, babe?
sand. You think there'd be some
Oh,
of
not
that
just sand. Do you know what I
evidence?
thought you said? I thought you said Dr. Sam. I'm like, who's Dr. Sam?
No. You think
Yeah,
there'd
not
be
just
more
sand. I get that.
evidence?
You'd think so.
So,
You'd think so. But yeah, how much devastation would the earthquake have? It's different. Like if we're talking about asteroids hitting the Earth, and the people are saying like, "Oh, we think they're geysers, like fountains with deep and that," but they think that it's asteroids that hit the Earth. But then there's no evidence of the asteroid whatsoever. No dust, no rocks, just the impact crater and the thing that impacted it. Let's go.
online and in the news, leading many people to adopt it as the truth. After the failed explorations in 2009, Julio Zamora, president of the Mexican Society of Geography, claimed that the existence of the island of Bermeja had probably been faked by early Spanish explorers to throw off other explorers and military rivals from other countries. This would make
It's
sense.
very possible. It could have been fake to throw off other people out there. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Looking for treasures or whatever. Could have been. You never know. We never know. We weren't there, but it's nice to speculate, I suppose.
As it was common practice to make slightly inaccurate maps back then for the sake of strategy. Another possible theory is that the island could have been drawn by one cartographer in the wrong location by mistake and replicated dozens of times over the centuries by other unaware cartographers.
And for fairness, I'll put this guy's link in my channel, in my description. Sorry, in my channel, in my description for this.
Still, some researchers think that due to the very precise descriptions of the island's physical appearance, Bermeja probably did exist, but in another location. Despite the abundance of theories regarding the mysterious island's location and existence, 15 years after the last exploration of the last known location of Bermeja, the truth is still a mystery and will probably remain that way forever.
So it's true. Some things we'll never know. Some things we'll never know. It could remain a mystery. People could investigate. They might find something. You never know. But it could remain a mystery. We're not meant to know all things. You know what I mean, babe? I think he's got to go in the next one. You got something to say about that?
I think some people get lost looking for answers in everything, and sadly, there's things that we'll never know, and
Of course.
you have to accept that.
Yeah. I get you. Right, we'll carry on, guys. Oh,
Are you ready to fight?
we love adverts. Let's mute the advert and then skip it. Unmute.
Overton Bridge. Built in 1895 in Dumbarton, Scotland, the Overton Bridge is a Gothic-style bridge
I
overlooking.
think I've heard about this bridge. I've heard about this. I think people what was it? The people have died there and that, or committed suicide, and dogs seem to commit suicide there, like jump over the bridge. But I think people think it's down to there being mink or something there, or some kind of animal that they smell, and they just jump over for it. I think if it's the same place, If it's the same, I'm sure I've heard of something. I don't know the proper ins and outs, but I'm sure I've heard of this place in Scotland. This bridge.
A 50-foot ravine that leads up to Overton House, a 19th century manor in the Scottish Lowlands. At first glance, Overton Bridge looks pretty much like any other.
Yeah, I'm from the northeast. Lowlands is like Glasgow way, Cumbria, do you know what I mean, on the borders and stuff like that. I'm from the north side. It's the Lowlands. So I don't know too much about the Lowlands, but obviously you hear things. You know, I've never been to this place. I've been to Dumbarton, but I've never been to this house. But I'm sure I've heard of this bridge. Let's wait and see.
I never want to go on that bridge. I'm good.
You don't want to go what?
On that bridge.
Why? Why?
Because the people and dogs are doing it. I'm not risking it.
And you're a person with a dog.
Oh no!
Is that
the fear? The dog jumping off it either.
Is that the logic? Is it? Yeah. Because if the people do it, then I might do it, and the dog will do it. I think God would steer you. The Holy Spirit would steer you right, baby.
That's funny. To not go near that bridge.
Yeah, maybe. Well, let's see what he says. Sorry.
Bridge from the time, but there's one pretty dark detail that makes it different from any other structure in the area. For the past 80 years, hundreds of dogs have been jumping off the bridge and down to the ravine to their deaths for seemingly no apparent reason.
People, just dogs. Wow. I've heard of it. Just I don't know the proper story.
Sometimes the dogs survive the fall and are left with debilitating injuries.
Again, baby.
If there are no dogs jump off it, why aren't they keeping them on a lead? Common
sense, eh, baby? Lead or bridge. Don't go.
It's a dog suicide spot, and you're letting your dog off its lead. No, keep it on lead, and it ain't gonna jump nowhere.
That's right. It's funny.
And according to some reports, there have even been instances where dogs allegedly jumped off the bridge, survived, ran up the slope, and then jumped off once again to their deaths.
Wow.
Depending on the source, you'll find reports.
That dog was persistent, wasn't it? And he couldn't do it the first time, so he did it a second time. If it didn't work the first time, doggy, why didn't you try a different way? But let's not get into that because you can't talk about things like that on YouTube.
If it tried it once, why isn't the dog on the lead?
Yeah, exactly.
Terrible.
Stating that the amount of dogs that have jumped off the bridge is either lower than 100 or in the high 100s. But regardless of the exact number, it's a fact that a lot of dogs have died at this bridge for some mysterious reason. As you can imagine, these incidents at Overton Bridge have fueled all kinds of outlandish theories, including suggestions that the bridge is haunted. According to Celtic pagan beliefs, the bridge is located at a thin place, which is a place.
Can I correct him? Celtic is a football team. Celtic beliefs. Spelt the same, yes. Celtic football team comes from the same kind of. It comes from the same religion, but I mean, their supporters come from the same kind of religion, Catholicism. But yeah, it's not Celtic. It's Celtic. Celtic is the football team. Agreed, babe?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Place that lies at the supposed union between heaven and earth. Some locals have also favored more supernatural theories, with many people blaming the dog's death on the White Lady of Overton, the alleged ghost of the widow from Overton House. Another popular...
Just realised with how long it's got left. It will be going out raw, guys, so I hope you don't mind. There's a little countdown at the start. I'll have to suffice as my intro. So but it's just because the place I use, Canva, if I'm not on Pro on it, it won't let me upload. Like I can upload videos to it. I can upload 1 gig, so I can get about an hour video uploaded to it. But getting it back out to the computer, it only lets me do half an hour unless I join as pro. And I'm already subscribed to so many things. I don't want to subscribe to an editing thing as well. So if I don't have it like 30 minutes on the dot or 29 minutes, 59 seconds, then I can't edit it. So it'll go out raw, guys. So Vicky, no mistakes. Okay.
I
I'm only
said
joking.
the S word instead of unaliving yourself.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, I think he said it as well. The dogs committed that. I think it's okay as long as we're not going into the details. I'm sure
Oh,
it's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
Their theory among the locals is that the dogs are being affected by negative residual energy from a tragic event that took place in 1994, in which a 32-year-old father threw his baby off the bridge, claiming that his child was the Antichrist. Following the tragic murder, the father was declared insane.
That's true. That is tragic. He was insane. Also, demonically possessed. If he did that to his kid,
terrible.
unbelievable. That's horrible, horrible.
Yeah.
If that is
Kids
true,
are innocent.
absolutely, absolutely.
Locked up in a psych ward. But even with all
Yes, they're born into sin, but they don't know nothing about it when they're babies. They're innocent.
the more outlandish theories that have gained traction in recent years, some researchers have come up with more plausible explanations for the mysterious incidents at Overton Bridge. In 2006, animal behaviorist David Sands investigated the bridge and suggested that the dogs are probably detecting the presence of wild animals below the bridge with their keen sense of smell, which makes them chase after the smell and inadvertently jumping to their deaths. This would make sense, as according to official statistics in the area, minks began breeding in
Ah,
large numbers in the 50s in Scotland, and most long-nosed dogs seem to
so it was, well, they reckon it could be to do with minks. So I had heard right. I just didn't know the full ins and outs of it. So it was to do with
Oh,
minks. Their reasoning, whether it's true, whether the story is true at all, we don't know. But if it's true, it could be to do with the minky boys. They're
well,
minging.
Minnie
They're
don't
minking.
bother with the mink in the bedroom.
No, she doesn't. It's hanging on the wall. Oh, what's his name again?
Fred.
Fred the mink. Yeah, Fred Minky boy. I think you've met him
Fred the
before.
dead mink.
Yeah, Fred the dead mink.
favor the smell of mink over any other small animal, including squirrels. From my research, most of the dogs that have died at the bridge are long-nosed breeds. Also, because the bridge has tapered edges, from the dog's point of view, the edge looks more
Long nosed breeds being extra super sniffers, aren't they? Long nosed breeds.
Yeah.
Is that right, babe? You know more about
I
Jukels than
think
I do.
so.
Yeah.
I think so. Well,
Makes
spaniels
sense.
and labs.
Mm.
Spaniels, Alsatians. Yeah, they're long-nosed dogs and they are sniffer dogs. So yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, that them types of dogs are used in the police and stuff like that. It's true, true.
All right.
like a flat plane, safe for running and chasing after small animals. So, while there will probably continue to be speculation about paranormal activity at Overton Bridge for many years to come, it's much more likely that the dogs aren't intentionally taking their lives and are simply falling to their deaths on accident while chasing the odors from other animals.
Supercharge your
I
business
think.
with the all-new Shopify point of sale.
Blimmin' ads.
Abandoned Viaduct Petrobras. In the 1950s,
Oh, so that was that one. That was that one. I think we said enough on that one anyway. Abandoned viaduct, Petrobras. What is this?
the Brazilian government began a project to build BR 101, Brazil's longest highway spanning almost 3,000 miles. In the 1960s, construction began on a segment of highway called the Viaduct Petrobras that was meant to cross the Brazilian
Oh,
jungle
yeah.
to connect Rio de Janeiro and Santos, São
Yeah,
Paulo.
yeah.
16 years after construction started, the segment of highway
They see this from an above. And above, I've seen this before. If you see it from an above kind of bird's eye view, it looks like God took his almighty hand, grabbed it out of the city, out of an urban area, and plonked it in the middle of the blooming Amazon. That's what it looks like. It does look
There's a
strange lying there.
viaduct
Yeah,
in
but it looks like, oh, right, it looks like a bridge, doesn't it? You know what I mean? I
in
mean,
Stratford. Outside of Stratford, there's a viaduct, and it has the canal going across it.
yeah, of course. I mistakenly said bridge, but it looks like a bridge from that angle. But yeah, it looks like God took it out of the city. It's what it looks like, though. It doesn't look like it should be there. But I'm sure they'll give you a bird's eye view of it.
Like, I'm scared of heights, and
Way that
it's
crossed the
something
jungle was
now.
due to be connected to an already existing.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, going over the bridge, it's just say 30 foot high and it kind of bouncy. The one in Coventry here,
Oh,
I'm not
it's
scared of heights,
terrible.
but because of the movement on it and the motion and the things moving underneath you like cars, it does get a bit freaky. It does get a bit freaky, I
But
must
I
admit.
don't want to be on a boat going 5 miles an hour over a bridge
Mm.
that tall.
No, I get you. No, I get you. I get you. No, I don't fancy it myself.
But
Existing
yeah,
part of the highway to finish the project. However, due to Brazil's economic crisis, plans changed at the very last minute, and instead of connecting the viaduct to the existing road, the highway was linked to a different coastal route. As a result, the viaduct Petrobras was left
It's still like a bridge, though, isn't it? It's still getting the traffic over, isn't it? Still in a way, so it's kind of like a bridge. I know it's a viaduct, but yeah.
don't
See
you
what I mean?
normally
That's
have
about
train
size.
tracks on them?
Well, I think you could have anything. You could have a road, train tracks, canals, like water, anything. I suppose. Just any kind of form of transport, I suppose you could have over. We don't tend to see them much here, do we? You know what I mean? Not well,
No,
especially not where I'm at. But yeah, it does look like it's been took from an urban area and just plunked there, doesn't it? It does
yeah,
look strange just sitting there, like it's a mushroom spawned out of that greenery. You know what I mean? Some kind of weird mushroom.
it's just a bit weird, isn't it?
It is. It is. I can get why it's a bit mysterious, I suppose, enigmatic.
Oh,
abandoned in the middle of the jungle, and to this day, the Brazilian government has done nothing to remove it or reuse its parts. Standing over 130 feet tall and almost 1,000 feet long, the structure features fully built tunnels.
130 foot tall. I mean, that's like the size of Pioneer House, babe. Roundabout. Would you
yeah,
say? Well,
yeah.
16. Well, it's about 9 foot of floor, isn't it? And it's 16 floors. Um, about maybe just about 140 foot. Yeah, roundabout, right? Same height. That's high. That's high to be. Wow. Imagine what it's like to look from the Niagara Falls. Looking down
No,
that. I mean, wow,
no, I'm scared
wow.
of heights.
Even when you watch the Superman, when he kind of flies into it, it looks crazy. In the second film, Superman, back in the 70s. Yeah, it is high. You're not too keen with heights, aren't you? Are you?
No, I hate heights.
Yeah.
I
See,
got
it
the
is.
step ladder.
It's weird, isn't it, to be scared of heights when it's what's the word? It's uh irrational. It's irrational to be scared of heights. Should be scared from falling from them, but scared of heights themselves.
No,
It's a bit
I
irrational.
got the step ladder that's like 3 steps, and that is too high for me. No.
I
I
like it.
remember
I
when
like
my mum was building the house and the
it.
second floor was done, and I had to go up a ladder to look at
Mm,
the second floor. And I
mm.
literally was like, you might have to phone the fire brigade to come and get me down because I can't get down that ladder. It was bad.
No way, that's funny. Oh, by the way, guys, if you haven't already, go and watch Michael Cahn's video of Bob Speaker in the Corner, or Speaker's Corner, not Speaker in the Corner, Bob Speaker's Corner. Yeah, he put it out today. Brilliant, good video, man, excellent. And he's right as usual, Bob. And Michael's put it out. So go to Michael Cahn's channel, put it out. Watch that if you haven't already watched it. Bless. Let's go.
Retaining walls, and a gigantic concrete foundation, which has slowly been swallowed by the jungle.
Ready, and we're halfway through. So yeah, we are putting out raw.
To an outsider, the viaduct Petrobras looks like it was taken out of the city and dropped in the middle of nowhere in the South American jungle for no reason, giving off an admittedly eerie atmosphere. Even though the viaduct Petrobras seems pretty wasteful, the out-of-place structure is now a pretty popular tourist destination for curious travelers and locals wanting to catch a glimpse of the abandoned concrete giant.
It makes sense. It makes sense that people would want to go there. It wouldn't interest me too much. I suppose if I was passing, if I was there, I would go to it. If I was close by, I'd go to it. But it's not something I'd rush to. I mean, that guy's got his
I
drone
would
in his
not.
back, filming camera and everything. I mean,
I would
like there's
not.
much action got to go on there. You know what
There is
I mean?
no way
Nah,
I
it
would
doesn't interest
go.
me too much. I would go to if I was there, but not.
I
I wouldn't go
wouldn't.
out my way to go there.
I ain't going up
Oh
that
yeah,
high
we
for
found out,
anyone.
and we found out McToon is the one that's heading that the final experiment. So don't. It's not to be trusted, guys. Not if it's from McToon. Simple.
Lead your best life with
man.
new skills.
Wow. Skip and sound back.
Kola super deep borehole. In the 1960s, the Soviet Union and the US were locked in a battle to develop superior space.
How long would it be before they put the space, anything to do with space, rockets, anything to do with space? How long before the agenda came in?
Well,
to just a normal
they
video. They have to get it in there somewhere, don't they? Right.
Exploration technologies, often referred to as the space race.
Space race.
But what many people don't know is that the two countries were also competing to drill as
They weren't competing. It was a fake competition. It was all part of the script. They did it together.
close as possible to the center of the Earth. As is often the case, the motivation behind the drilling was mostly to find oil and valuable minerals. But from what I found, developing machines that can get close to the center of the Earth would also help understand the causes of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions at a much deeper level. In 1958, the US government launched Project Mohawk to collect a sample from Earth's mantle by drilling to the bottom of the ocean off Guadalupe Island in Mexico. Over the next 8 years, they drilled over 600 feet into the seabed. But in 1966, the House of Representatives had to discontinue the project because it was getting too expensive. 4 years later, in 1970, it was the Soviet Union's turn. And
they like starting something, then abandoning it, don't they? I mean, oh, that's no good. Let's go elsewhere. But let's see what they've got to say about it.
Look at Iraq.
They drilled their hole close to the Barents.
Sorry, babe.
I said, look at Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah.
They like to start things and just leave it in a mess.
No, that's true. That's true.
Sea just outside the Norwegian border in a city known as Murmansk, Russia. At the time, the Soviets' goal was to drill as far down as possible, which researchers hoped would be a little over 9 miles. Unlike the US, the Soviets were a little more successful with their...
They only did get to just under 8 miles, didn't they? So they obviously didn't get 9 miles.
And managed to drill way deeper into the Earth's crust, which resulted in the creation of the Kola Super Deep Borehole, also known as the world's deepest man-made hole.
Oh, unless
with a total depth of
unless
over 4...
this is what they're on about. Unless this is the hole that went 8 miles deep. You know, I don't know. I don't know what that hole's called. But let's hear what they've got to say about it. Yeah. Unless it's some other story about the hole, I don't know. Probably some voices coming out of it or something.
40,000 feet, or around 7.5 miles, the Kola Super Deep Borehole is deeper than the Mariana Trench, and its depth surpasses the height of Mount Everest.
Wow.
As the project progressed, the scientists realized the temperature was much higher than expected at every point below 10,000 feet, and at around 7.5 miles below the surface, the drill reported a temperature...
It would be pretty hot down that far. A lot of denseness down there, you know what I mean? A lot of compactness round about you. I think it would be very hot. Very hot.
Of almost 360 Fahrenheit. This was way higher than the 212 degrees Fahrenheit the scientists had predicted at that depth.
Wow.
So even though the Soviets had broken a record with the Kola borehole, they too had to discontinue the project in 1992 due to increasing rock densities and crazy high temperatures. And in 2005, the drill was shut down and the hole was sealed for good. However, that wasn't the end of the story, and there's a slightly more disturbing reason why people remember the Kola Super Deep Borehole.
Here we go. Voices, I bet it's some kind of voices or something.
In the late 80s, a strange story started circulating in several Christian Finnish newspapers, which reported that a group of Soviet scientists had drilled a hole to the center of the Earth and had allegedly lowered an extremely heat-tolerant microphone into the hole. Through this, they
have to be very heat-tolerant. A microphone? Why would you drop a microphone down there?
Supposedly heard a series of extremely disturbing, tormented screams coming from the bottom of the well. Throughout the night,
souls in hell. Is that what they're trying to say? No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
The story spread to other countries until even American newspapers were running it. As the story gained popularity, sound files with the supposed audio of the tormented screams from the center of the Earth started appearing everywhere online, with allegations that the screams came from tormented souls stuck in hell. As it was later revealed, the original recording of torment...
So, if you do go to hell and you don't manage to get to heaven, and you want to get a message to your loved ones, shout up the hole. Shout up that hole. You know what I mean? They'll uncap it from the top and they'll get the message straight away, guys. straight away.
Aye.
You know, brilliant, fantastic. They would have to use Christianity as well for this nonsense.
Its screams was made from a loop of various sound effects and the soundtrack from
Oh,
the
there you go.
1972
Faked.
movie Baron Blood.
Faked.
From this point
They
forward,
would
it
have
was
to use
pretty much
Christian
common
name.
knowledge that the screams were
Christianity as a
fake.
name.
However, it is a fact that some pretty disturbing sounds have been heard coming from the Kola
Got
super
about
deep
6 minutes
borehole,
left, babe.
along with other super deep boreholes. In 2013, Dutch artist Lute Given traveled to the 30,000-foot deep KTB super deep borehole in Germany, where she lowered a microphone protected by a thermal shield to see if she could pick up any sounds at the bottom of the well. Interestingly, a mysterious deep rumbling sound that scientists couldn't explain could be heard through the microphone, which
Deep rumblings could be more explained than screams and stuff of tortured souls and hell. Rumbling, I mean, it's way, way, way into the earth's crust. You know what I mean? Rumblings could be explained. You know, move shiftments of tectonics, whatever. I don't know. The fact that they've drilled down, they disturbed the rocks and whatever they're drilling into, minerals and all that. They've disturbed it so it could be moved. You know what I mean? That can cause sounds. You know, that kind of thing.
in the artist's own words, some people thought sounded like hell, while others thought they could hear the planet breathe.
The planet
Even though the sound is pretty cool to hear, even if a little haunting.
There you go, flat solve, Michael, everybody. The planet does breathe. You know what I mean? So it is breathing out. It is expanding out with gravity, mass attracting mass. You heard it there. It's breathing. So it's coming up to meet that object. That's what it's doing. It's moving because it's moving. Hey, babe.
Sorry, I'll mute myself.
I just said, hey, babe. Aye.
Aye.
I'll just go.
Breathing.
The consensus among scientists is that the sound
Breathing.
comes from layers and layers of rocks rearranging themselves after being moved around by the
Inhale,
drill that made
exhale.
them.
You're the victim.
Potomsky Crater.
Oh, Potomsky.
In 1949, a Russian geologist named Vadim Kolpakov stumbled upon a mysterious crater with
I've never heard of this one, to be honest. I don't think I've ever seen that image.
diameter of over 500 feet and a height of
You heard of it? Babe? Babe? Have you heard of it?
Hey.
Oh, she must be doing something.
almost 100.
No,
saying
do
I've
you know
heard
what
of
it
it.
was?
Yeah.
No,
What?
do you know what happened? My
What?
signal keeps going funny.
Oh, okay.
And
Well, I know if you don't answer, it's to do with your signal, okay?
Yeah, I'm not ignoring you.
All right, no problems, no problems. But yeah, this is definitely going out raw, guys.
40 feet in Irkutsk, Siberia.
Should have really just done it as a blooming live stream.
At the center of the crater, he found a little hill around 40 feet tall, which kind of looked like an eagle's nest with an egg inside it. Curious to find out what was inside the crater, Kolpakov made
Or a spot, a zit, a pimple, whatever you want to say. Kind of what it looks like. Or a what? Looks like a lot of things. It looks like a fried
That'd
egg
be a big
turned up at
spot.
the edges. It is weird though, and it just looked like piled up rubble, like it's intentional.
Yeah.
Looks intentional.
made plans to
Weird.
climb the mound and take a look inside to confirm his hypothesis that the crater had been caused by a meteorite.
No.
But the locals warned him that Fire Eagle Nest, as it's become known all over the world, allegedly possessed evil powers.
That egg in the middle will be the meteorite covered with little bits of more rubble. You know what I mean? So, yeah, meteorite, guys. Slap bang in
Could
the
be a
middle of
troll.
a stone nest. It could be a what?
It could be a troll hiding under it.
It could be a troll hiding under it, yeah. Could be a troll bridge covered in meteorite rock. Simple.
Exactly.
And whoever stepped inside it would be dead soon after. Dismissing the insistent warnings as superstition, he climbed the mound, but failed to find any rock samples that supported his meteorite hypothesis. Over time, more and more expeditions were carried out to the crater, including one in 2005 in which the leader of the investigation died of a heart attack shortly after visiting the crater. Based on the
Don't think that's that mysterious. I mean, look at the age of the guys. Some of the guys there, they're not exactly the youngest. And there's a lot of people there. They could have heart disease, anything like that. And then they've gone to this place, come back afterwards and died of heart problems or whatever.
They
That's
are
not
aware
uncommon.
that people
People
Like
died,
my dad
you know.
died suddenly.
And he was 38, was he?
Yeah.
38?
So
Huh?
yeah.
I don't think there's anything mysterious
See,
about that.
some people do just die suddenly.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that are. I mean, it's not, some of these things are just natural. I mean, yeah, let's hear the rest, see what they're going to say.
Findings of recent explorations, scientists have ruled out volcanic eruptions, nuclear explosions, and impact from a meteorite as possible causes for the crater. In the absence of a solid answer, some have started coming up with all kinds of theories to explain its origin, including the possibility that a UFO landing made the crater. Others have linked the crater to the Tunguska meteorite.
Yeah, UFO landing made the crater. Yeah. Came from Venus or another galaxy, you know? Andromeda, maybe a further galaxy, guys. Maybe. But it was
Just
a
like
very,
they do the
very,
crop
why come here?
circles.
Why come here in such a small spacecraft? Yeah.
Yeah, but look at crop circles. Don't
I
crop
know.
circles prove UFOs?
Yeah, of course, baby. Of course.
Not people doing it.
Yeah, not people at all.
I'm being sarcastic, by the way.
Meteorite.
For anyone watching that
We
thinks
know.
that I
We know.
actually think UFOs do it, I know people do
No.
it.
I know, babe. We know. I think we've gathered that.
The remains of which have never been discovered. One of the things that makes it so difficult to determine the origin of Fire Eagle Nest, or Kolpakov Cone as it's now popularly known, is that the crater frequently changes shape, which suggests that whatever caused it is still affecting it to this day. The only thing scientists
And that's not uncommon either. It changes shape. It's a load of rubble, slight vibrations, stuff like that. You know, like earthquakes elsewhere, slight vibrations would make it move a little. It's not one big rock. It's a load of little rocks, smaller rocks. Movement's not going to be that uncommon. Land slides and stuff like that. Lands do move a little, and they don't float across the sea or anything, but they move to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Things erode.
know for sure is that the crater is around 250 years old, which they gathered from the rings on the trees growing on the mound.
Clever.
Strangely, it's been scientifically proven that the trees closer to the crater grow much faster than normal, which is similar to what happened in the forests around Chernobyl after the nuclear disaster. The lack of
To do with minerals or anything like that, extra moisture. I don't know. Could be well moisturized. I mean, getting lots of hydration.
solid explanations, coupled with the weird tree phenomenon, has been fuel to the fire of outlandish conspiracy theories about underground nuclear plants and nuclear-powered UFOs buried beneath the crater. To this day, scientists still haven't determined what caused Kolpakov Cone to people have come up with over the years. As of today, the most logical explanation is that the mound could have been caused by the underground release of hydrogen fluids and heat from a nearby gas volcano. This could have caused changes in the size of tree rings, which would explain why scientists...
That's quite possible, I suppose. That's quite possible. In that kind of area, science would apply. You know what I mean? Because it'd be a natural phenomena. So science would apply in that situation, I suppose.
were growing at an abnormal rate. Still, despite the more convincing explanations that have surfaced over the years, the origin of Kolpakov Cone will probably remain a mystery for many years to come.
Oh, and again, love these adverts, don't we, babe?
No.
In the 1920s, a small tourist village about 400 miles from Buenos Aires, Argentina, called Villa Epicune, was built along the shore of Lago Epicune, a salt lake touted for the health benefits and therapeutic effects of its mineral waters, which were said to be beneficial for rheumatic conditions.
Oh, well,
Quickly turning into a weekend getaway. Through its popularity as a weekend getaway for Argentine city dwellers, a lot of money was poured into Villa Epicune to expand its accommodations and make it as comfortable as possible for visitors. However, it seemed not a lot of resources or attention was dedicated to the containment dam that separated the lake from the town. Unfortunately, on November 10th, 1985, the containment
got get flooded, didn't it?
dam broke during a storm and a series of unusual strong winds. For 2 weeks, the water rose at a rate of half an inch per hour, until eventually the containment dam was completely destroyed by the water, after which all the locals had to abandon their homes and businesses and leave behind Villa Epicune. Over the following days, the flood drowned the town over 30 feet underwater, and it wasn't until 25 years later in
Wow, 30 feet underwater. I mean, look at that. That is definitely drowned, isn't it?
So sad though, isn't it?
It's not good. And but these natural disasters do happen, you know. There's nothing we can do about it except help in the aftermath, you know, some way or another. Prayers or whatever, you know, actual mission work, that type of thing. Not nice,
Look,
but
they've
it
got
does.
crosses on the top of the building.
Yeah, so I thought it was. Oh yeah, it is actually crosses. Look, if you look at the other building, that's a cross. Yeah, yeah. So I dare say Christians were there or doing missionary work.
2009 that the waters began to recede and now show the eerie remains of the town, which now looks like something out of a dystopian movie.
It does.
From above, you can see the original
It does look like something out of a dystopian movie. Quite literally somewhere out of a LA kind of Mad Max type thing.
layout of the streets of Villa Epicune, along with its many businesses and the houses 1,500 people called home. With its overgrown trees, rusty post-apocalyptic appearance, and ghost town vibes, Villa Epicune now draws in tourists and photographers from all over the world who want to get a glimpse of the ruins of the once bustling getaway town. Due to the high levels of salt in the water that once flooded the town, most of the buildings in Villa Epicune are covered with a thin white residue, giving the town an even more creepy appearance. One of the more interesting facts about Villa Epicune is
It's not creepy sitting there looking through the daytime and that, but I suppose if you were at night walking there on your own, if it's very silent, you know what I mean. All you've got is the sound of silence, you know, that kind of buzzingness of silence in your ears, that kind of thing. Because I do think there's a sound to silence, isn't there?
Yeah.
Even if it's static, I don't know. But yeah, I don't think it's scary like that. But in the night and that, I suppose it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you agree?
Yeah.
Aye. Cool.
is that even after it was completely destroyed by the water and flooded for more than 25 years, as soon as the water receded in 2009, one of the locals, then 81-year-old Pablo Novak, decided to come back home and live out the rest of his days in Villa Epicune. Out of the original 1,500 residents of the town, Pablo was the only one who came back. As the lone inhabitant,
I mean, he's probably nostalgia for him, nowhere else to go. It's where he wants to be, but it does look a estate, you know, it doesn't look nice to live in, does it? Looks awful.
No.
Not good, not good.
Of Villa Epicune, Novak was officially named the cultural ambassador of the town in 2020. But unfortunately, in January 2024, Pablo Novak passed away at the age of 93, leaving the town once again completely abandoned.
Good age. Well, that's it. That's it. Oh, there you go, guys. There you go. That was it. Something different, I think. We reacted to it. Like I say, we don't always have to do Flat Earth. We don't always have to do the Mandela Effect. We don't have to always do something scriptural, you know. As long as God's always there in our thoughts, you know what I mean. He's there to support us. The Holy Spirit teaches and guides us, and He's there to support us. Do you know what I mean? Any last words, baby?
No, it was good. It was interesting.
All right, cool. That's excellent. What was I got to say? Yeah, like I said, head over to Michael's if you haven't already and watch that video put out of Bob Speaker's Corner. It's excellent. And
My signal.
I mean, Bob's good to watch like that. He's good at debating his side when it comes to scripture. It's brilliant. And hopefully you enjoy this. I'll put it out as a premiere. I'll get a thumbnail made for it quickly, get this processed and all that, and put it out as a premiere a bit later before Flats comes on. Bless you guys. Thanks for watching. If you watch, if you don't, then it's fine. Still love you guys. Bless yous. Here the sun sets free. It's free indeed. Ta-da.